Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. And I'm joined by Brian Schatz and Patty Murray. Now, look, for weeks, the American people have been trying to send a message to President Trump and Senate Republicans. ICE's thuggery must end. The images, the videos, the stories we have seen come out of Minneapolis and elsewhere have shocked America from one end of the country to the other. After not one but two American citizens were killed by federal agents in the last 2 weeks, the nation is reaching a breaking point. People are hurting, people are afraid, people are angry. The American people are demanding Congress step up and force change. This weekend, Senate Democrats joined the American people in demanding real change when it comes to ICE and its behavior. On Saturday night, I announced we would not provide the votes to proceed to government funding and to the government funding bill if the DHS funding bill was included. Some may have thought we were not serious, that this was mere theater and business could proceed as usual. Well, as snow fell across Washington on Sunday, Republicans announced they would continue as planned with their government funding bill. They thought they could stonewall us. They thought we would not have the resolve. But undeterred, we held our ground and made clear our demand. The Senate must separate the Homeland Security's bill out of the large appropriations bill and allow this chamber to make real changes to overhaul ICE and to end the violence. Some may have thought they could ignore us, confident the news cycle would change and the public outrage would fade. Those people were wrong. They underestimated our resolve. They dismissed our unity. Yesterday, Republicans tried once more to push forward the full funding package through the Senate with zero ICE reforms. Democrats unanimously voted no. We were strong and we're united. With our votes, we helped deliver the message of change on behalf of millions and millions of Americans who have risen up and supported their neighbors and who have implored their government to stop tormenting their communities. Let me be clear. Because of Democratic unity, the Senate was forced to change course. Republicans had to negotiate with us to pass any bill. They had to listen to the American people calling out for change. The bottom line, the agreement we reached today did precisely what Democrats wanted. It separated DHS from the other funding bills so we can overhaul DHS to rein in ICE and end the violence. Now, there are two steps to this whole process. First, separate the bills, which gave us the ability to fund 96% of the government while letting us now focus on overhauling the DHS bill. That was step one. Step two is now drafting strong, common-sense legislation that reins in ICE and ends the violence. I want my colleagues to listen closely. I want my Republican colleagues to listen closely. Senate Democrats will not support a DHS bill unless it reins in ICE and ends the violence. What are we demanding? We demand ending the roving patrols. These are our three objectives. One, ending the roving patrols. Two, enforce accountability. Three, masks on, body cameras off. Masks off, body cameras on, no secret police. Every officer must have clear identification. That's what we're demanding. Those are our three objectives. And there will be specifics under each of those. We will know soon enough if our colleagues understand the stakes, if they understand how serious we are. The American people want change. Senate Democrats want change. If our colleagues are not willing to enact real change, they should not expect Democratic votes. Let me say that again. If our colleagues are not willing to enact real change, real strong change, they should not expect Democratic votes. We have only a few days to deliver real progress for the American people. The eyes of the nation are watching. I hope Republicans get serious, or they will learn once again they will not have our votes. One more. The bottom line, let's find this last page. I'll find it. Nope, he didn't. Anyway, the bottom line is very simple. The American people are crying out for change. They see what's happening on our streets. They see the thugs. They see the goons. They see people being shot and killed. They see people being punched and pushed around and treated like garbage when they're American citizens, when they're here legally, when they're people on the streets. They want it stopped. We want it stopped. This is not America. Not America. And when you see those images, you know that something is dramatically wrong and it must change. We are fighting to change it. Will our Republican colleagues join us? Now, Patty Murray has done such a great job here. She really just put her every bit of her into making this happen. Couldn't have happened without her. I'm proud to introduce Patty.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. Well, all week, Senate Democrats have been exceptionally clear. We cannot and we will not pass the DHS bill until ICE and CBP are reined in. We laid out a clear and common sense path forward past these 5 funding bills we all overwhelmingly agree on, while splitting off the DHS bill and forcing Congress to take action to rein in Kristi Noem's out-of-control department. And tonight, that's exactly what the Senate did. Look, this is a pretty somber moment that we are in. I very seriously doubt the White House would have agreed to renegotiate constraints on DHS if not for the national outcry from the American people. America saw the killing of Alex Preddy, and America was rightly enraged, not even 3 weeks since the killing of Renee Good. And understand, the country witnessed that awful killing after weeks of seeing nonstop scenes of brutality on the streets of Minneapolis. But because the American people said enough, we were then able to press the Republicans to split off the DHS funding so we can now work on oversight. And over the next few days, Senate Democrats will be focused on negotiating real restraints to put an end to the chaos we're seeing on our streets. For years, Republicans have warned of rogue federal agencies infringing upon people's most basic constitutional rights. That, of course, is exactly what is happening now. So if they are serious about those warnings, if Republicans are serious about preventing Americans from being murdered by masked federal agents, they will work with us over the next 2 weeks to rein those agencies in, which is what the vast majority of Americans are demanding we do. If Republicans want Democratic votes, they need to work with us to end the unacceptable brutality we are seeing in Minnesota and elsewhere. I'll be doing everything I possibly can to ensure that Congress acts and that we meet this moment. And in the meantime, we have torn up Trump's budget and written a new one by passing 5 more funding bills for the year ahead. The message to President Trump is America will continue to fund cancer research. We are going to keep investing in affordable housing and tackling homelessness. Congress will not abolish the Department of Education. That message in this bill is headed his way, and he's going to sign that bill into law. Importantly, these bills ensure that Congress, not President Trump or Russ Vought, decide how our taxpayer dollars are going to be spent by reasserting Congress's power of the purse. Getting these bills signed into law means President Trump and his cabinet secretaries will no longer have the legal authority to unilaterally defund programs to fund their own priorities or to pick and choose which projects to fund. That matters. That matters, and it is a very important victory for the American people and for our democracy. We have to remember that Congress is a co-equal branch, but it has to act like one. Democrats being at the table made a difference in these bills. We held firm to protect NIH. We held firm to protect affordable housing. We held firm to protect public education. And we held firm to put working people first. And because we held firm, we got major concessions out of Republicans, forcing Congress to do the right thing on many, many issues, even if it meant going against Trump, something that was unthinkable this time last year. And now we are focused on doing the same thing when it comes to meaningful DHS reforms. Senator Schatz.
This is one of the most important moments in this Congress. This is a bipartisan rejection of